Borderlands 3 got a new hotfix that is live right now if you play the game online, nerfing a lot of powerful weapons, my favorite grenade included, like it's pretty significant, although that nerf is less than they communicated. Also we got a ton of buffs, with some buffs being more than they communicated. So overall that is positive, because sometimes they would also say that they nerfed something while they nerfed it way more than they communicated. Anyway, I will tell you everything you need to know in this video. We got some class specific buffs as well, and there's way more to get into. So let's do that right now. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support. And let's go. Let's start by looking at some major nerfs. The Flakker, one of the weapons I highlighted in a recent best weapons video, because it can really eat the health of the enemies insanely fast with a nicely placed shot. And one of the awesome things was that you could actually shoot it multiple times before you had to reload. Well, now after this hotfix, that is not the case anymore. So while the description still says that one shot consumes 5 ammo, the magazine size for all the Flakkers is reduced to 1. So you always have the 2 seconds reload after shooting this gun, while before this you could sometimes shoot the gun 4 times before you had to reload. The damage was also reduced by 33%, going from 1365 in my case to 910. It's still a pretty powerful gun though, if you just look at the damage against this Proving Ground boss on Mayhem 3 for example. The reload is just very annoying, making it way less powerful than before. We also got some torque buffs though. For the Tri-Bolt gun, the damage is increased by 25%. And the Alchemist also got a damage increase. This is one of my favorite torque guns that first shoots these sticky shock bullets, and then on reloads they detonate with incendiary damage. We now got a 25% damage increase, making this gun even more powerful than it already was. I'm really liking the damage here for sure. The Devil's Foursome pistol also got an increase of 13%. They also buffed the laser sploder, but just a little bit, making the rocket projectiles spawn more often, so the interval was increased by 0.4 seconds. In theory, it should now deal more damage, although in practice it's kind of hard to see. If you watched my previous videos, then you are likely familiar with the Linux COV pistol, right? This gun was already insane. You could easily hit all the incendiary bullets onto one target to make their health bars melt, but they thought that it was a good idea to buff it even more. I mean, I totally take this, because some of my other favorite weapons were nerfed pretty significantly, more on that a little later. But no, this Linux COV pistol got a 20% damage increased, so humanoid badass enemies are really no issue anymore with this gun. It's pretty insane. Other COV weapons were also buffed. The Pain is Power assault rifle that instead of overheating, so you have to repair it, lets you overheat, so you take damage over time. We got a 25% damage increase for this one. The Skax's COV pistol also got buffed. You get this one in the Ascension Bluff region from the Hammerlock animal, that I by the way still need to visit on the max level, because I actually like this gun a lot in the early game. Well, now I got reasons to totally do that, because this gun got a 15% damage increase. Ruby's Wrath, the rocket launcher, got a 10% damage increase, and I by the way checked most of the changes with the footage before and after the update, and so far they're all lining up with what Gearbox is communicating. This was not always the case with the previous hotfixes, but now so far they seem to be as intended. Okay, not all, because the biggest nerf is namely not as bad as they said. It's for, without a doubt, the most powerful grenade in the game, the Hex, that got many different versions. I got one of the most powerful ones, the Nerf, that actually spawns 6 smaller grenades that all do damage too. In my case, shock damage, so shields from the enemies would just melt away. But yeah, Gearbox did not really like that, so they reduced the damage by 70%, and the duration of the grenade is now 3 seconds. So yes, the duration increase is noticeable, just like the damage decrease, but it's not 70%, it's 49%, at least for my version. It went from 1115 to 571, and I have to admit, it's still pretty powerful to use against shields. Instead of destroying it with just one throw, it now most of the times requires you to use 2 grenades for the same effect. But yeah, still a powerful grenade, just way less powerful than before this hotfix. I totally feel sorry for the people that farmed the Red Jabber during the Rare Spawn Hunt event to get this grenade, to now find out that it is nerfed significantly. That really sucks. Other grenades that got touched are the Hunter Seeker one that has a 25% damage increase. This is indeed correct, and they nerfed another grenade as well that I really liked, but I did not think was that OP or something. It's the Firestorm. Well, guess that Gearbox disagreed, because the damage went from 2887 to 792. That is a decrease of 72%, more than the 70% they communicated. So yes, this grenade is likely useless now. The Vanquisher SMG that gives you extra slide speed got a 20% damage increase. And now let's move on to some pretty significant Hyperion nerfs and one buff. Let's start with one of my favorite shotguns in the game, the Butcher, that got a 25% damage decrease and an accuracy reduction as well. It's still a great gun though, luckily. And remember that I did a giveaway for this one during my Iridium week video. Well, Cosmo Camus won it after I put all the comments in a random number generator. So I will send a friend request to you, and then I will email the gun on PS4 after you accepted the friend request. And we'll talk about the new giveaway for this video in a second. Then we got the Crossroads SMG that now instead of 4 projectiles fires 3. It's still pretty powerful. I know it's really a popular weapon. A lot of people use it. Less powerful than before, obviously. And the Conference Skull Hyperion shotgun actually got a buff of 15%. It's still not as good as the Butcher though, in my opinion. Another buff that I'm pretty happy with is for a pistol that I already wrote off because of the insane secret nerf that Gearbox did a while back. Now they say that they buffed the Maggie's damage by 35%. But that is actually not the case, it's way more. My Maggie first had 215 damage and now 501. That is an increase of 130% instead of 35. Also thanks to the fact that the weapon decrease I had went from 82% to 58%. So it's pretty powerful again actually. Not as OP as it was before, but it's a viable gun again that is fun to use, while before this hotfix it was really useless. So a great weapon to give away in this video in my opinion, so just leave your PlayStation Network ID under the pinned comment under this video for a chance to win this gun. Would of course be awesome if you are a subscriber of the channel before you participate. And sadly I can only send this gun to people on PS4 because I also play on PS4. There are still some weapons we have to touch on. Let's do more nerfs. The Hellwalker Doom shotgun was nerfed, as we actually already discussed in my previous video. And now we know what the damage reduction is. It's only 8%, so not as bad as I thought it would be, making this weapon still great. Another nerf we already touched on in that previous video is for the Lyuda Sniper. So Gearbox notes that they reduced the accuracy and handling, although I don't see any difference in the stats of the weapon, while with another weapon that I will touch on in a second, you will see that they actually decreased the accuracy on the weapon. Either way, the critical hit damage was reduced. I first had plus 40% and now it's only 10%. So it's basically a nerf for the flak fadeaway combo with this gun. One of my most used weapons is also nerfed, the Gutsman. The damage decrease is 25%. It was very powerful before, so a balance was maybe needed, and even after the nerf it's still pretty nice actually. We got a buff for the ASMD Sniper by 28%, and the Wester gun got an increase of 25%. And I totally want to use this weapon more because it now had 2 buffs since launch. I think it could totally be a very powerful weapon now, so want to use it more in the future. The 10 Gallon got a damage increase of 8%, and we also got many flat off buffs. I don't have all the weapons, so let's go over them more briefly. Like the Sickle reload weapon had a 25% reload speed increase. The Phasor damage is also increased. And this one is interesting, 40% damage increase for the Infinity Pistol. I first kind of accepted the low damage because of the fact that you always have ammo and do not have to reload this gun at all. But now it's way more powerful thanks to this buff. Especially great against the standard enemies, so I will totally be using it more now. And by the way, this did a giveaway for this gun in my previous video with bank space upgrade tips. I will link to that video at the end of this one. We got a damage increase for the Magnificent and the Jericho, and also a illusion called Nerf for the accuracy and handling, and this one is noticeable in the stats. My accuracy went from 75 to 49, so that's an almost 33% decrease, while the handling stayed the same. And this is, by the way, the gun that does not cost any ammo when you do a crit, so it's pretty great with the fadeaway combo. We also got some changes for the classes, actually some buffs. It's something we discussed in the previous big update video too, because Gearbox wants to make the Iron Bear pets and Digiclone more viable, because right now they just get destroyed way too fast, especially on the Mayhem mode. We got a 50% health increase for the Iron Bear and all the pets, while the Digiclone got a 100% increase. We'll totally try this out more and see if my pet is really better now, but I overall think it's more a matter of smart AI than the actual health of the pet, or maybe a AoE damage reduction, because what mostly happens is that my pet just doesn't move away from obvious sort of threats, so it just stands in the fire, for example, all the time. Hopefully they will fix that, but I think that this is just a way to easily upgrade our pets. Bug fixes are also included with this update. The big one is without a doubt for the shield boosters that you now automatically pick up. So shields like this one, for example, that has a 20% chance to drop a booster that restores 15% shields, can now easily be picked up, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So you would think that these shields are way stronger now than before this hotfix, and I actually want to try this out way more, so maybe it's something to talk about in a future video. Other changes include the fact that they lowered the chance for a weapon to drop from the pachinko machine. Not that those chances were really high anyways, 1 out of 5 I think for the Iridium slot machine, and then it's a very low chance to be a legendary. Well, turns out that it's even lower now, making the pachinko machines way more useless. There are way more smaller changes, by the way, too, that you can read for yourself if you want. I put a link to the hotfix notes in the video description. No word on the day 30 update, by the way, that we actually have to download. Maybe it's not coming as soon as we all hoped. I mean, it's day 35 or something like that at this point since the launch of this game. So it seems to be a delay for that update. But when we know more, I will of course let you know here on the channel. So totally subscribe to stay up to date on everything Borderlands 3 if you haven't already. Like this video to support the channel and check out my previous video on some tips to help you store more items. You can watch it by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of our golden chest opening that Dennis and I always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. Hey Dennis.
Hello.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I liked your idea from last time. Like, if we just give guns to the golden chest, maybe it will give us a legendary back.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's see.
Try it.
Nope.
No. Oh my god, did they...
Can confirm this doesn't work.
We do
This
have
makes
some anointed purple gear here. Let's
This
check.
makes it so much harder to empty out the chest though. This was a terrible idea.
Okay. Yeah? You got everything. Yes, okay.
There we go, that's everything.
Okay, let's do it again.
Now you try.
I'm just going to stand here, otherwise I can't open it. Oh. Yeah.
I don't think you can stand on top. Like, if you walk up to it, it should work.
Oh my god.
Ah, no. Too many guns, but no legendaries.
Yeah. I don't think the the gun tactic works.
I don't think so either.
Subscribe for way more Borderlands 3 coverage, like the video to support the channel, and totally check out the previous Borderlands 3 video. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. For now, we will speak to you next time. Hope you have more luck with the golden chest, and goodbye.